Derek, you're on mute, my dude. You're slipping today. It's okay. We're gonna cut you a little bit of slack because you're not
Was I
feeling one
was
hundred
I really
percent.
muted? I was. I
Yeah.
didn't touch anything.
Oh, you're not muted now. Maybe you were froze.
Oh, you know what? When that music first started playing, it skipped
Yeah.
a beat or two, and I was wondering
Yeah.
if I got bad internet, then you might have to take over.
Oh no. Sorry, Derek's internet has the COVID. Something's going on over there.
Is it still bad?
No, it's fine now.
Okay, you're playing with me. You make
What's
me
up?
attach my hotspot. What's going on? It's Wednesday night. It's episode 121. We're moving right along, and it's the middle of September. Crazy, man. Time's flying. Summer's almost over, and it's like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah. Just yeah. Next thing you know, it's
Fall.
listen. I'm done with summer. I love summer, but I'm done with the heat, man. I'm done with the
I
heat.
agree. It starts off like, hey, I'm ready for it to warm up some, and then about a month
Yeah.
later, or about a week later, you're like, no,
If I could
I'm
just
done with
live in
this.
fall and spring my whole life, it'd be
We'll,
perfect.
we'll fall because
Or
spring you've got all that pollen and all that other crap.
yeah,
So
well,
fall
they
is
got
better.
pills for that.
Chill peels.
Yeah.
So we got an interesting show tonight. First off, we have a person here with an interview that we're excited about talking to about some products and some history and all that good stuff. But before we get to that, we kind of the cat may have been let out of the bag a little bit, and that's my fault for not working on this more eloquently, I guess I should say. But we have Kip that's going to join us first from Kicker. And Kip, I'm going to go ahead and bring you in. I'm going to take you out of the snack room. How you doing tonight, Kip?
I was enjoying some virtual snacks. They were delicious.
Yeah, we provided our people in the green room, some delicious snacks. So thanks for taking us up on that. We'll send you the bill later.
That's no problem at all. Thanks for having me on for a little bit at the beginning of the show here. I sure appreciate it.
Yeah, very cool. So what we wanted to talk about with Kip here, obviously, is there's been some mention of the old school stereo meet in the fall, and there's been a lot of discussions of what's going to happen with events coming up, specifically with Kicker hosted events. So just to let the cat out of the bag, the fall OSS meet is going to be canceled. So we're not going to have it at the Kicker facility. And I don't have any plans at the moment to reschedule it for right now. I've got some other stuff going on that I'm dealing with here. So I don't want to make any plans about that. But I did want to bring on Kip so that we could talk about it just for a minute. And Kip, I know you guys, I don't know if you want to, do you have anything else to say other than just that event? Is there anything else going on that Kicker wants to announce or?
Well, it kind of all ties together, and it's okay to announce it on this show. And I felt it was appropriate to actually come on since the OSS meet is really a Derek and Robert, it's kind of like your guys' production, and we were simply hosting it. And basically what happened is last week, and I think I let you know Friday of last week, and that's the first I got it, is that the management team here at Kicker had made the decision that as a company, we were shutting down all travel for employees outside of the facility, which meant we were pulling the plug on all events for the remainder of 2021. We're actually not going to SEMA. A lot of people know what the SEMA show is. We've pulled out of that. We're not going to attend SEMA. And so it's not just the OSS meet. We've actually pulled the plug on all events and travel, and that's marketing and sales. We've shut it down, and the reason is we're seeing an uptick in COVID cases internally here at Kicker, and of course nationwide, depending on where you're located. Obviously, there's a spike in cases going on everywhere else. So we don't want to pull the plug, but we just feel like it's probably the smart thing to do right now, and so we are shutting down all events like that. We're still sponsored events. I mean, we're still involved in a lot. So like the Steve Barber, the Showdown that's going to be going on in Vegas, which is the weekend right after SEMA. We're still the title sponsor. It's just that Kicker employees ourselves are not going to be able to attend the event. But there will be a Kicker presence at that show. We'll have a demo truck and some other things there. It's just that we can't travel to that event. So I hate that I have to announce that, but sometimes, a part of being an adult is, the good and the fun is fun, and sometimes you got to deal with the bad, and so I'm dealing with the bad right now, which is unfortunately we're having to shut that event down. But we have a sincere desire. We want to hold an OSS meet here at Kicker, and I know it's a conversation we'll have to get into later, but Steve Irby and the management team said, let's look at possibly doing something in the spring. Maybe we get through this push and things start turning around. We'd love to host something here in the springtime. So maybe if you're not looking to reschedule this fall and you're willing to put it off, maybe we could go ahead and do something in the springtime. Wouldn't be a fall meet at that point, obviously, but everything's been delayed the last year.
We can fall back to spring. But so just from our side, obviously, first off, we appreciate you guys even agreeing in the first place to hold the event. That meant a lot to Rob and I. And we fully understand, and it's been the understanding ever since the beginning that, at any time this could be pulled due to situations with the virus and everything. So it's cool with us. We look forward to pushing it back, and doing it on a future date, and apologize to everybody who had exciting plans to go to Kicker. Just, hey, scratch that date off your calendar and just kind of leave some open dates in the future, and then we'll try to get it rescheduled so that we can have everybody together and at the cool Kicker facility.
Andy just chimed in, and actually my mind was thinking the exact same thing that Andy just said. Is, we also announced on Unmasked last night that really we're looking at a release date of Q1, Q2 of 2022 for the L7X. So maybe if we could do it in conjunction. But the thing I really want all your viewers to understand, and anyone who's part of the OSS meet team, crew, people love doing that. I got to experience the first one a couple years back. It's a great time. Kicker is sincere in its offer. We want to host a meet here. It's just that the climate right now, we've made the decision that we have, for good or bad. Hopefully everyone understands. But man, Andy, you're on it. It'd be awesome if we could do that and kind of have a launch party for the L7X at the same time. So we need to keep the conversation open and understand, Derek and Robert, we want to host something here. It's just unfortunate we had to pull the plug on this fall event due to everything, as I stated.
Well, since you did cancel Christmas, we expect to see the L7X at the spring meet.
Well, Kip, thanks for joining us here at the beginning of the show, and we'll be glad to join you next week if you want for a few minutes, and do a follow up on your Unmasked Live, and again, look forward to future event and continuing to work with you guys until then.
It's my pleasure, and thanks for having me on for a few minutes. I know it's bad news, but I hope everyone can understand. And the good news is we do want to do something here. So for everyone looking to come, do a caravan party and come to the Kicker headquarters, we're just going to have to put it off till probably spring. And it looks like we may come up with a really great plan. So thanks for everyone for being understanding and patient, and appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kip. You guys have a great night. Thanks for sticking around an extra night to join us here too. So we'll see you, man. Take care.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
All right. So start off with the bad, and Rob even asked me, he's like, "Do you want to do that at the beginning or the end?" I'm kind of like, we just got to get, we got to get the news like that out of the way. Yeah. So we move on to something different. So we've got Mr. Jacob Scott. Jacob, you ready to come in? You got your mouth wiped off from the popcorn? Okay. I saw thumbs up, so he must be good.
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight, man?
Good, man. It's a great night here in Florida. A little rainy, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Well, cool. We do appreciate you joining us tonight, and we're just going to get right into it because we got some interesting questions and some interesting things to talk about. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into car audio, because a lot of people may not understand. You're kind of behind the curtain in a lot of ways.
Yes, sir.
I would say in some ways. A lot of people may know
you. He's
the
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's right. You're hiding. So let's just start there, and then we'll work our way up.
Yeah.
So how did you get into car audio?
All right. So everybody gets their first car. I came from the skateboarding realm of a company called City Stars, and the guy that owned it was Kareem Campbell. And skateboarding didn't work out. Long story short, he's on a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, and great guy, but skateboarding was short lived. I thought I was gonna go pro. I thought I was going to sell millions of boards. I thought I was going to do something for it. Long story short, skateboarding doesn't pay the bills, but it's a fun thing to do. But, got into cars, and I bought my first car after I got my check, and realized the system sucked. I was like, this is horrible. So like everybody ran to the internet, seen a couple videos, and then I went to the cheapest thing money could buy. And I was in bank land until I realized, I was like, oof, $500, man. It's my car payment next month. So long story short, got into that, realized that it was really, really cool. My first system was two Visonic 10s, and I bought it from caraudioutlet.com, and it was horrible. That thing turned off more than it was good until I messed with the gain, I should say. And a shop here called Audio Pros is no longer around. Installed it, and then I touched the gain, and then it went all to hell. And then I got into, I went back to Bankland and found some kickers. But anyhow, that's how I got into it. I started hanging out with the car audio scene, which is like the local meets and where I live. And basically, everybody was like competing to be louder, but no one really had a loud system. I think the very first loud system I heard was two FI BTLs, and it blew my mind. I was like, I don't have nothing. So I was like, I'm gonna get that, but I'm gonna get it on a ball and on a budget. Never came to life. You got to have money. I found out. Long story short on that one, and got a deal with a shop that was later opening up called Ocala Car Audio. They're actually probably the biggest and most successful currently in my town. 12-volt retailer of the year type stuff. Carries all the major brands, and they're like, hey man, make us a logo. And I was like, all right, we like this logo. They tried to rip it off, but it's okay. Love you, Parrish, if you're watching. And they didn't do such a good job. And they're like, hey kid, come inside, bring your PSD file, and let's make this come to life. And I was raggedy then. I don't even know why they liked the logo. So they came in and they're like, all right, how much do you want? I'm 18 years old. I'm like, I don't know. And then I realized my stereo sucked in my car. And I seen some power bases off in the corner. Of course, my ass grabs the I grabbed the entry level power base. I didn't know anything. I was like, whoa, man, those look cool. Mine are making weird noises, sound like a Coca-Cola can. And he was like, yeah, go put them in. We'll trade you out. And then that's all it is. And then basically a long story on that was all my friends would compete with me. Everybody that had kicker would whoop my butt. I had Kenwoods. I got a small sponsorship with Vibe and Fly at one point. And everybody was whooping my butt. And then that's how I got into it. And then push came to shove, and I ended up working at Chrysler for a little bit, blogging, and yeah, it was one of the wildest things of my life, and realized that corporate auto America isn't where you want to be. You really want to be where something is fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. That's an interesting story. So you got some subs for creating the logo for them.
No, I got some 6x9s.
Some 6x9s.
I got some 6x9s in my door. I thought I was king man until I put an amp on them and smoked them.
So Jacob, you were the guy that once they do the install and they're like, all right, don't touch the gains. You're like, oh man.
Oh yeah, I
got touch again.
Man, when you get whooped, when you get whooped by your homie, with some yellow subs that say comp on them, you're like, no, ain't no way. I ain't getting beat up like that.
So, like, what? I'm trying to think of how to ask this the right way. So, about what year was that? I mean, I know you're younger. You're in the younger demographic. Rob and I are just
2000, old. 2008, I officially entered I call it the car audio bite, where you get bit. Yeah. Now you just want to go crazy on it. You wanted to explore brands. Everything is new and exciting until your buddy beats you in something louder.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what about, I found this interesting because we send out like the questions that Rob and I have kind of as an overview to the people we're interviewing, just so they can have some comfort level to know kind of where we're going. But a lot of times people don't answer them, they just read them. But in this case, Jacob actually went through and kind of answered them. So it's interesting to me to see this one answer when we ask him, like, any unicorn pieces of equipment you wanted but never acquired. And I want you
Boston
to explain
Acoustics.
this. Explain
Boston
Boston
Acoustics.
Acoustics.
Boston Acoustics, man. I'll tell you one thing. There was one system. So I got into car audio as Boston Acoustics was bankrupting. Heavy. They were liquidating everything. This gentleman, it was at Vern's shop. It was, I forgot the shop's name, but his name's Vern. He was the oldest man in town. He taught all the other shops what to do, and they eventually opened up. And this guy sat me down into a car where I thought I was like in a 4D movie theater. And I was blown away. I was like, what is this? And then he told me how much the tweeters were. And I was like, excuse me? And then I was like, oh, I'm going to save up my whole check. I'm going to save up like 3 checks. I'm going to go get these tweeters, these GT subs. I'm going to get this amp. It's going to probably, I'm going to eat ramen noodles for the next 2 months, but I'm getting it. But long story short, Boston Acoustics, in my eyes, was probably for when I first entered car audio. And even today, if you had Boston Acoustics, I'd probably buy it off.
Right.
But, you know, it was in my eyes the most, and it was a product that didn't look like the next guy and wasn't Rockford. Sorry, nothing against Rockford. It's just everybody was trying to push Rockford on me. I'm like, no, and all my buddies had Kicker, so you know I want to be
this guy still does that. This guy.
You know.
Oh, so you're pointing the wrong way.
Yeah, this guy right here.
Yeah, I love Boston Acoustics in my eyes. They're the greatest in my eyes. They just died out.
If you're listening, next time bonus time comes around, buy this man a Pro 10 point. You know, get him the Pro, the LF series.
I know somebody that has a little bit of Boston Acoustic stuff.
Oh, there goes Jake's whole pay.
I don't know who it is, but Ginava, thank you, Ginava, appreciate that. What's really ironic about these stories, and even though we're different kind of eras, and even it's just, you know, for me it was like early to mid 90s. I was drooling over Boston Acoustics back then, and that was like, to me, there were a few high end lines of speakers, Boston Acoustics, MB Court, ADS. There were a few other ones, but like Boston Acoustics to me was always the cream of the crop. And I live close to one of those stores where if you bought gear like home audio, and within 1 year you could upgrade and get your full amount back as long as you bought something that was 1.5 times what you paid for the first. I've still got my Tower Boston Acoustic speakers upstairs with the big center channel, the huge center channel. So I've been a Boston Acoustics fan for life too. So it's just interesting when I saw that, and I was just like, wow. That's pretty interesting. We're like a whole different generation, and we're, you know, drooling over the same equipment.
I was looking at it, and then I came back to Vern's shop. Vern says, "Oh, we liquidated all of it, and we have Rockford here for you." And I was like, "Nah." I listened to the Boston Acoustics car, and then I went and blew my whole check on Sonic product. I said Sonic Electronics, who's now a competitor of mine, but it was, and that all blew up. So anyhow.
Yeah, that's funny. And we didn't even bring this up, but I just got an email from them today that they're taking, and I'm sure you saw it, maybe you didn't, they're taking Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the other stuff now.
All right, yeah. Down4Sound will happen next week. Down4Sound.
He's coming back to get you.
Like, dude, that's such a gamble. I mean, this is a total sidetrack, but say you spend a $10,000 worth of Bitcoin on a system. You could be getting it for $2,000 at some point, or you could have spent $10,000 worth of Bitcoin that ends up being worth $100,000.
It's like the guy who bought the pizza way back in the day with the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
$40,000 pizza.
Right. The best pizza ever had.
You know he is. What's up, Scott? Thank you, sir, for joining. Rob, I'll let you talk because I've been talking too much.
No, so about the early systems, like when did you finally get the system? You're like, all right, I've made it. I'm in car.
All right, system. So I got into, I made a blog. So I used to be, of course, my skateboarding roots. Geiger Media, love you, Bill. He was out of Texas. He had an amateur skateboarding tour where I met the regional people for Toyota Scion, and I met this dude named Rob at Kicker. And they came out with this boom box. Okay, it had a little square sub on the back, and they were like, design us a logo, a pattern logo to go over this thing. It was holding either an iPod, or if you're a Microsoft guy, a
Yeah, the
Zune
Zune,
player.
yeah.
Yes, sir. I was Zune.
Mhm.
I told you, I'm always gonna vote for the stuff that no one wants. So, anyways, they were like, hey, make this for our regional amateur skateboarding tour, and I was like, you know what? Okay, bet. He was like, oh, so by the way, make a website. I was like, okay, cool. And I was starstruck by it. I was like, man, it was like every skateboarding competition, they had a car show. And then they had stuff for the kids, like a dance off. And then they had it where you could graffiti art on the Scion, and they would raffle it off later that year for charity. And I was like, all right. And at the same time, there's other brands coming out. So I started a blog. Oh my God. And Kip was on this show. I started a blog. I started a damn blog called LIVN LOUD. And it took off. It took absolutely. I was between blogging with like about corporate cars and like all the cool stuff Chrysler was coming out with. I wasn't at Chrysler at this time. I was just blogging about it, and there was a big rise at Chrysler after they sold the Fiat. And I was blogging about that, but at the same time, I was blogging about car audio. So it was like it was something weird enough to get about 80 to 100,000 people a month to go to the website. Then
Wow.
I try to get sponsored by everybody. The first person I went to was George Wu at Atomic and Randy. And Atomic was like, no, we can't help you. Then I went to Powerbase, and Powerbase was like, yeah, we'll give you 50% off. And I was like, I'm broke. And in college, send me stuff. And it was horrible, man. I went to everybody, but there's one man, if there's anything that could ever really that facilitated, was Andy Atkins at Metra. Metra just got rights to a company called Vibe out of the UK. They had a sister company called Fly. At the time was a middle finger, was not a fly. I just go look up Fly, you'll see the middle finger, you'll laugh. And I'm like, you guys can't put this in the United States. No parent's gonna put it into their 16-year-old's car. It's clear as day. So anyways, he sent me he said, yeah, sure, dude, no problem. Sent me 412s, actually 612s. I couldn't fit 6, so we did 4. If I blew up any, we'd go back. And he sent me a whole bunch of amps, and then a company called Fat Matt sent me so much deadener, dude. I didn't know what to do with all of it. I was like, bro, I just needed 100 square feet. And then I was like, all right, now I gotta go big. And I went as big as my pocketbook could allow me to go. And we did some things together. And then Vibe was short-lived in the United States not because of Andy or me. It was because numbers. Corporate America, when you learn about the corporate side of things, I call them the Excel data guys. They just type a number in Excel and they're like, hit that. So unfortunately, that was short-lived. But the guys at Chrysler reached out to me for marketing, and we did some cool stuff then. And I got to tour them and did a lot of cool stuff with Chrysler. Got to see cars come out way beforehand, like the Dodge Dart 200 Hellcat. Demon was up in the air at the time. This is about 2012. And then I realized this sucks. So I was like, oh man, this really does suck, man. I want to go back to car audios and talking trash to my homies. And then, you know what I'm saying? That's what all bass heads do. You're gonna be like, I'm loud. I'm loud in you. I'm like 19, 20 at this time. So I come back and I was just doing nothing. I was a certified bum at this point. And but I just had some money put away, and then a stereo shop opened up by the name of Ocala Customs. And my buddy TJ, he was like, you want to come donate your time? I was like, I don't have no time to donate, even though I'm sitting on my couch. And then he was like, I want you to be the guy to take all the pictures of the cars and put them on the internet. This is the birth of Instagram. This is when Instagram started firing off. And I was like, all right, I guess so. I was like, how much can you afford? Can you afford like 300 a week? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, I'm there. I was like, yeah, I'm there. And that led to one thing to another. I worked with almost every brand. I worked with CT Sounds when CT Sound had a whole rep firm, and Coleman took this whole industry by storm. I don't care what anybody says, rest his soul. And it was crazy because when you're in a stereo shop, you see what sells, right? You meet all these old heads. I call them old heads, no disrespect. They're like, oh, you like Sundown? Oh, you like this Scar? You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm back in the back and I don't know jack. I'm going back. I'm gonna go do taxes or something. I used to always say that was just my go-to thing. I'm gonna go do the taxes when I wanted to get out of something. And I didn't know nothing about taxes. Oh God. So anyways, I got a good mentors there though. I'll tell you that, man. I had some of the best mentors probably in the United States. Shane Campbell, called him the wizard. He would let me know if it would work. And then if I handed him more wrong wiring harnesses from PAC with GM, because they all had different OS2X, LAN 32. You had so many damn modules. Dude, oh my God. I don't even want to get down the road of modules for aftermarket radios. And he drilled me out of sanity for a little bit. He was like, no, you can't use this. You got to use this. No, why do amp manufacturers do this and not this? He was a very, 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 he's at Extreme Audio and Performance now. He's one of the goats. Anyways, long story short on like the whole thing, I eventually became the store manager of this location. So it was, don't ever accept a key. If you're listening, you're running a stereo shop, never accept a key. Yeah, so it basically I had to deal with customers, and it was working at one point. They come in for a quick radio diagnostic, and we pull out, oh, my tire's flat, it's your fault. So it became short-lived, about 5 years of running a store, and it probably aged me 30. I was like, oh my God, I can't take people. So anyways, I started messing with a company called Sirwin Vega. I wanted out. I needed out. I was like, man, guy named Bob Chazavonsky. He used to work for Rockford back in the 90s. And Bob, I met him at SEMA. Everything started with my car audio media life, big business type stuff happened at SEMA. I went to SEMA and I was like, I need a way out. I even financed my ticket through a firm. I'm not even kidding you. I was like, dude, I gotta get the hell out of this store. And there was nothing bad against my peers or nothing. It was just like, it's hard running a store, man. It really is, between employees, drama up front, getting cars out on time, man. I'll put a doozy on you. But I do greatly appreciate TJ for the opportunity, Shane for all his life lessons, because I'm bringing everything to life through Down4Sound, through what all my little mentors have taught me along the way, and it's all working. So I'm not complaining. So anyhow, I got into Sirwin Vega. Was like, I met Bob, and he's like, yo, what's up, dude? And he's like, yeah. Well, he was like, what do you do? I was like, I skateboard and I run a stereo shop. That's about my life. He's like, you know what you could do for us? Make us some Sirwin Vega and Diamond skateboards for our CES for next year. I was like, whoa, okay, this was a fast going relationship. I didn't care because they didn't want to give out watches. They didn't want to give something that's going to get discarded. They wanted something that was going to be displayed. So I have almost every connection to the manufacturing side of skateboarding known to man. So I made it happen. That was my boom. Then they were like, hey, run our social media. So I was already doing social media at the shop. This was the dawn of Instagram, the second phase of Facebook, when businesses started then becoming a part of it and advertising started opening it. I forced myself to go through Facebook. Reached out to me and were like, hey, we want you to be a part of our partners program. Let's go ahead and get you into this 180-day fast track program. You could possibly work for your Facebook, or you could just work for yourself. And I was like, okay. And then I learned everything about their platform. It's a yearly, you got to yearly redo everything. And it came into full effect later on, but we'll get in that second. So we did stuff with Sirwin Vega. I did every graphic known to man from 2018 to 2000. I want to say, 2019, about 19. No. I was at Down4Sound in 19. 18, about 2 years, 2 to 3 years. It was very hard. That wasn't challenging because I had Ryan Klein, who's the motorcycle guy over there now. I dealt with Larry Frederick, who was the product developer at that time. Now, Larry Frederick, if anybody don't know, that's the OG from the Phoenix Gold days, and he started with his buddy Keith. He's another one. You just gotta, with the old heads, people are sometimes get like, oh, don't make fun of me or don't make hurt my feelings. These old heads don't care. They'll let you know straight up, and I'm like, all right, old man, go do what you got to do, man. And anyhow, so it was a really good thing. Henry really treated me good. I just knew I needed to live on to something else. I needed something more. I wanted to get into Amazon. I wanted to get into eBay stuff. I wanted to facilitate the e-commerce world. So a company by the name of A-Trend reached out to me. We're like, we'll give you more money. I was like, okay, bye guys. We did so many. Serwin, Vega, Diamond, dopest company out there. I really, truly appreciate Bob for facilitating everything. They have brought some of the best sounding marine and motorcycle when I was there, and they still do today, and I'll stand by that. They really treated me well, but I was like, I want to do more. And my leadership was telling me, no, you can't do more. That's it. I was like, oh shit, I gotta go. So I got into A-Trend by Ernie and a lady by the name of Amber, who used to work at TT Sounds when we had a relationship when Coleman used to come and visit me. And Amber was like the West Coast regional. And at this time, she was working at Boss. And believe it or not, everybody at Boss makes about 6 figures a year. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not. So that's why she was there. And long story short, we got into it, and I got into A-Trend. They flew me out to Chicago, Elk Grove area, about 30 minutes outside of Chicago. And if it's traffic, it's about 2 hours. But anyhow, we got into the box world, and I didn't realize how much boxes sell. They threw me into the Amazon division. They're like, you're going to learn everything about Amazon. And I was like, okay. So I already knew a little bit about Amazon and understanding the marketing aspects of search engine optimization and things of that nature. And I understood algorithms. I already did the Facebook partnership. I did a lot of partnerships. I was certified, whatever that means. And it doesn't mean anything. I'm better than you. It's just I know how to navigate. So I was like, all right, let's jump into it. And I realized how many boxes they sold a year through Amazon, through their B-Box enclosure system. I was like, holy, it got to the point where Amazon was just buying them and stocking them. Their artificial intelligence was just spit out POs. I was like, wow. But at the same time, at A-Trend, they also had different divisions. They had Oz Audio. Oz Audio from back in the day is not the Oz Audio today. But the cool thing is the Vector series was still done by Craig Smith, aluminum cone. Oh, wow. And a full cone. I'm a full cone guy. Don't know about y'all. I hate dust caps. Sorry, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, where's the cone? So, yeah. So
big surround, big dust cap.
Yeah, well, the big surround, Jacob did his thing. Jacob brought the mega surround, and at first I was just listening to the old heads. Oh no, that bass head stuff doesn't sell. Yeah. You don't know nothing. All right, kid, I don't know. All right, dude, I don't know nothing. I'm gonna go in the back, do taxes again. So, anyways, we got into it. I met this guy named Ken Koga. I don't know if anybody knows Ken Koga. Just Google him. He was the original guys that developed the original stroker back in the 90s. One of the original. There's a bunch of people that touched on the stroker. So I met with him, and I met with Craig Smith of Oz Audio. This is how I met them. He's like, yeah, we got an OG on board. Go meet him down south. Sparked a whole new relationship I never seen coming. I'm learning about US Sam's, JL. He used to be the international guy, and he was a product developer, and he was doing this, and he had his own. He owned GS Redline.
Oh wow!
So yeah, GS Redline was the JL. Well, everybody wants to take down JL. If anything push comes to shove, I got something better than JL. Everybody knows JL. JL is like the name Tony Hawk. It's just known everywhere.
Right.
So anyhow, we got into understanding the rules and stuff. He showed me the Oz Matrix Elite that he was going to redevelop. It was a 4-inch coil Neo, thin Neo, something that you would see with the Nightshade, just a little bit skinnier. And it had a different type of surround I've never seen before, and still today I can't figure it out. But A-Trend at the time did not put it into commission because A-Trend also sold True Technologies. Oh my God! You want to see an amplifier at the price of a Mazda Miata, brand new? Go look at True Technologies. True Technologies, in my eyes, is probably the most high-end stuff you could buy right now. Like, as far as it's available here, it's really good stuff, and it costs about the price of a car. So anyhow, so we were selling True Technologies, we were selling Oz, and we sold speaker boxes, and it got to the point where I was learning so much fast, and I'm a sponge. You bring me around somebody, I'm gonna be a sponge. And I was absorbing, understanding the old school ways, understanding the new school ways, understanding the Class A way. A Class A line conditioner blew my mind. You would take every line out converter you ever thought of and just throw it to the side. So it got to a point, and I learned about DSPs, and I got into that. Then it got to a point where I was doing so much that I had to go. And I was at this show called Texas Heatwave, and I was hanging. The only person I knew there was Nick Hutchinson. Okay, he had this huge Tahoe that was all steel with his Hutchinson subs that are Neo.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out with the old head out there. He runs SMS marketing. He's a really good guy, but and I was just like, it was for the Custom Sounds Intent booth. You had to be there. I met Mike Coldfield, the owner of Custom Sounds Intent, really cool dude. I met a lot of people, man. I met Jonathan at Metra, who invented Heist and pretty much facilitates Heist LEDs at Metra. And anyhow, I was like, man, I was just done with the show, and I was like, I'm gonna go outside and see what's booming. And I think JP had some speaker problems. That's nothing new though. It's okay. Everybody puts their knee through the door speakers. So I went over and went to go see the Hutchinson little steel cage base oven, because that thing was hot, and it was so hot, man. Anyways, long story short, that's how I met JP. I was like, all right, I was picking his brain one day, and he was going back and forth, and I was like, huh. I was like, this is I had a feeling, but I was like, let it be. Still at A-Trend. And SEMA's coming up again. I love SEMA with a passion, man. If you ever want to start your life and your career, go to SEMA. It's like, if you really want to get into like aftermarket stuff, SEMA's the way. And that was not endorsed. And SEMA semi guys said check. So we went out there, and I got a house and stuff. And before that, I met up with JP, and I was like, hey man, I can take your entire web. I can bring it to the next level. And I talked to Craig Smith, who's the founder of Oz, GS Redline and stuff. He's always been my mentor. He's guided me through the way of a lot of stuff during that time. And I was like, what do you think about JP? He's like, man, that's where you need to be. That's his first thing. He's like, Ham, you need to link up with Big D Wiz eventually. You need to hit up Jacob Firo. You need to be over here too. And he's like, you got to hit up all these people. He's like, you don't need to be at A-Trend. You're too everywhere, and you're too in the future and ready to go. These guys are just streamlining. You're thinking of the future and how you can make it better. So I was like, all right, I'll listen to the old man. I'm not going against old man. He's led me down the road of like, it makes sense. And and I was like, all right, I can make it this, that, and the other. His words were like, all right, talk is cheap. We're with a guy in Australia, Mark, who's an awesome dude. And he's like, talk is cheap. I'll see you when you get here. I ended up catching the prehistoric COVID at this time. And I didn't think I was going to make my interview or my one-on-one with JP for like, I was like, damn, I'm going to get sick. I was cracking 105, 106 for like 5-6 days straight.
Damn.
And I was like, I'm not going to make it. I was like, no way. So I stopped going to the ER at night. I was like, I'm going to the ER during the daytime. Got this dude. I want to say he was Russian. He had an accent like a Russian, but mind you that I don't know dialect or accents either. And he was like, "Oh, I'll be back. You'll be fine in 25, 30 minutes. You go home an hour." I was like, "All right, cool." Comes back with a big old needle, gives me a steroid shot. I'm ready to go. Hour later, I'm like, "Oh, am I clearing up? Am I clearing up? Okay, I'm good." I made sure I was cleared. I didn't have anything on my lungs at this time, and I didn't have any fever. And this is before anything COVID was related. Long story short on that is I made it. I made it to Vegas, and then I did my runs and did whatever I had to do with the corporate side of HREN. And then that night, I went to go see JP and walked into Down4Sound, his old location. It smelled like CBD, which is great. I was like, "Oh, it smells amazing in here." It was his girlfriend wife's CBD Fit Recovery. Really cool stuff, and it works. Trust me, I skate every day and I use it. So I was like, okay, sat down with them, not really nervous, ready to go more or less. And then we had a 2-hour conversation. I don't think anybody had a 2-hour conversation with JP unless you were his friends before he was JP. And I was like, he was like, "All right, see what you got. Black Friday's coming up. Let's see what you can do, dude." So I immediately quit my job at HREN. I just immediately quit my job because it would be too much. I didn't want to drop the ball. And when I did that, it put me to a rock and a hard place. But that's instead of people getting worried, I get like more focused. It like almost like stress kind of focuses me in. So what do I need to do to overcome? So I started analyzing all his information and analyzing his data. I use artificial intelligence with my advertising. I've made it into college, and it's on Microsoft Azure. It lets me know who's buying, how they're buying, where they're buying, how much they're buying. I learned this from the Amazon side of things. It helped me plug in the missing piece I was looking for, because that's how Amazon ranks you. And it was one of those things where I just looked at it, grabbed a bunch of data, and it was go time. It was go time. It was like no guaranteed Down4Sound would even work. It was none of that. It was like go time, and I was like, "Don't drop the ball, dude. Don't drop." I didn't drink that night. I drank water. I went to bed early, and I was go time. Had everything ready to go, and we did really, 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 really good. Not only did his end users see a new light for like the marketing aspect of things, but it showed me what the people want. And I've been doing this is what I've wanted to do for all these other companies I work for, but they have a different agenda. They're not bad people. They just have mainstream, like, hey, we got to move this like this because this is the mass production of buyers. And long story short on that was like I jumped on to Down4Sound. Originally, I was just a social media guy. Then a little bit of SEO, because he had his own little thing, and I started getting into bigger and better things. And it got to the point where Down4Sound, I rocket launched Down4Sound to a level of wow, traffic was double or quadruple what it originally was, but it was getting higher and higher and higher. And I do my marketing, my data analysis that you can't teach. And I'm being respectful when I say that. It's people want to sell you more stuff when you want to learn something. I just jumped into it and I was like, I'm going to figure this out by myself, and I'm going to let the data talk. That's why I always say results over everything. The man at JP he was already doing his own thing. He was the best V8 you could come out with, naturally aspirated. I was just a supercharger, just a really big supercharger. He already had his people in place. He already has a name. He had no marketing. JP had no marketing at all. I was like, when we were sitting in our conversation, I was like, what? You don't do ads? What? You don't, all you do is newsletter and go live and post a couple times a day? What? So I was like, all right, so let's plug in all, let's finish the tying up our shoes. Let's get laced up. Let's run. So plugged all those holes. JP is probably in my eyes the easiest guy to deal with. As far as getting stuff done, he's a good friend, hell of a leadership. But like if you need to get something done, he logically thinks about it and he says yes or nay, yay or nay, and if it's a nay, there's a reasoning behind it. And sometimes I don't think on that level, but it's like the yin to the yang. So so
Right.
JP is it was history ever since. And then we had a conversation about amplifiers one day, going to Made of Steel. This is after COVID shutdowns. By the time I got home and left that CES showdown, it was the world locked down. I was like, well, I was like, man, quit my job, going here. I might have a job, I might not. Because I didn't know how he was going to approach it. He was like, no, everybody's still got a job. We're still here. We're still lacing up every day. And we sold through the roof that year. Everything went through the roof. Everybody was at home wanting to finish their builds or something. And it was evolving, because JP didn't just give me a job, but he helped evolve what was already there. I just didn't know. I had untapped talents that I didn't know about until I got on Down4Sound. Like understanding marketing, understanding KPIs, understanding what fake followers are versus, people. I won't say any names, but there's a lot of people out there that use fake followings, and I'm not. I found out how to clear if someone was to attack your social media. How is it to do that? How do you do all these other things? And it got to a point where JP was like, we had the conversation, picked him up at the airport. He was trying not to fall asleep in my car. He looked tired. I think some little kid was screaming on the airplane, and that's a 5-hour red eye, And I was already an hour late, by the way, because Tampa traffic. And anyhow, we went to go see the guys at Scar, Kevin Schlinker. That man has a hell of an operation. But anyhow, we got out of that meeting and we started talking about amplifiers. And I was already developing amplifiers. I've been truly inspired by what my environment is. I grew up in Florida. I was the biggest US amps nutcase after I found out they went out of business, though. Go figure. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I met it through Craig Smith, who was the international sales guy / product developer with Dirk. So we were working on, I was going to sell it to another company. This was nothing of like, hey, we're going to go ahead and relaunch US Amps. No, the original guy that bought US Amps bought RE, and he bankrupted it. So there was nothing left. And I couldn't make the heatsink look exactly like it. So JP was talking about it. And then I was like, well, wow, what a small world, And I was a contractor at this time. I wasn't like 100% Down4Sound. I took care of other people along the way in car audio. It was just like Down4Sound was the bolt on. And anyhow, we developed the product. I was already pretty much done. We are made over at a Korean supplier, one of the best. It's where every big dog is made that has a name. And we got into understanding some things, and I had my buddy Shane Ekstrom. Love him to death. He's been with me since day one. If he's watching, I love you, dude. He's been with me when I was getting chewed out on the forums about one of my installers builds in a semi that fell apart. And it wasn't my fault, man. This is why that might have been the one that pushed me over the ledge to screw retail. But anyhow, I brought it to Shane, and I was like, I don't like this, and this. He's like, well, you're smart. And he says, you need to upgrade this, and this too. And I was like, okay. Then I brought it to old man. You got to get the old man's approval. He was like, yeah, that'll work. Then we send it in, and I was like, okay, let's bring something. I looked at everybody's amps. I'm like, no one has a cool bass knob, dude. Everybody has like the cheapest bass knob someone could possibly make. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things where we're like, all right, JP was like, it has to have a clip light. It has to have a voltmeter. It has to have 10. I was like, what about 10? He says, that's cool. I just was there at the clip light voltmeter, back and forth. So it is an open tool. And yes, Def Bonds has it, but it's not the same one that plugs into ours. And if it does, that's kind of weird, but I highly doubt it, because someone tried to do it on either a Salt, because Salt has it as well. No one just brought it to the table. I don't know if they were cheaping out or they had a price point to hit. So anyways, we brought the JP23 to light. And then I remember I remember when they said the product was arriving. I was shaking. I was like, wow, it's here. It's go time now. We're about to find out. Yes, we did in the JP23. We put a little bit better circuit protection in. We did that because we know these guys don't understand voltage. I know people. If you say how many batteries you need for 10,000-watt system, they're gonna look at you like a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
Do you know what a big 3 is? Do you know what an alternator is?
So Jacob, what was the idea of going with the 23 like as the first model? What was the
Was that like a
thought
Michael
behind
Jordan
that?
thing?
Yeah.
Are you ready for
That's
this?
That's what I always think. When I first heard it, I was like, this is like a Jordan thing.
Yes, it is exactly what it is. 20 and JP just likes 3s too. Yeah, and I like 3s. So we're like, yeah, everything has to add in 3 unless it's a 4 or a what do you call it, a 5 channel. So everything will end up, if it ends in a 3, it's a bass amp. If it ends in a 4, it's a 4 channel. If it ends in a 2, it's a 2 channel, and 5 and 5. And if you see a 8 or 10 channel, we haven't figured out. We might just put an X up there. So anyhow, it was one of those things, and it sold like hotcakes after Big D Wiz and everybody else started catching on. We couldn't keep it stocked. It sold so much. Of course, we have competing people who's going to say, oh, I can get this for cheaper. Well, cool. We're not trying to be cheaper. We're trying to provide a dope product that's not going to, look like the next guy. I went with a kiss of touch for the US amps. It was not originally 100% US amps. I went with more of a wedge style, like, a pyramid style, because understanding thermodynamics and what it could do and how people like to put their amps by fans and stuff. So it was one of those things that had me, I was like, well, let's just do it that way. We added the fan. The fan is thermometer. Now we're just going to turn it on. It's going to be on 24/7 on all the big amps. And it was like, wow, this really worked. And I was working on that project with Craig for, I want to say, about a year and some change. Nothing was ever discussed. And then he's like, no, man, you go for it, kid. This is your time. You know everything now. I was like, I don't know everything. I still need to call you, dude. So anyhow, yeah, that's how I got to. And then everything from graphic design at Down4Sound, which is, I just wanted to bring
did you do the Gorilla logo with the Down4Sound
Yes.
grill? Dude, that is the dopest logo. Matter of fact, just let me pull it up so everyone can see it. If you give me just a second, because I love. Do you guys don't? Do you have this in a shirt?
Yes, we do. We have it on all. It's a green team shirt, and I believe we have it in multi colorways on Down4Sound. That's the Down4Sound Gorilla. So he had an original Gorilla that was what I remember as Down4Sound when JP had a forum, and I was on his forum, and I was on Steve Mead's as well. But he had another one, so I took that one and I gave it a 2.0 vibe, and I was like, man, I can't really make anything happen with this grill. And I was like, wait a second. I looked at his teeth again. I was like, I'm putting Down4Sound in his teeth.
Yeah,
and then trust me, I get compliments on that shirt. I'll be out at dinner and the guy will just come and seat me. The bar guy will come, like, random people like, that's a cool gorilla. And it's one of the greatest ones. I got a bass head one. I've created more cartoon art within the bass head scene than I believe any bass head company. I want to say.
The cool thing about that Down4Sound stuff, like the Gorilla, you don't even have to be into car audio. When someone sees that, they're like, "Oh, that's dope." You could just be into like skateboarding, BMX, whatever. It's just dope. Just the Mega Man,
Yeah, the Mega Bass Man. Yeah, that
Mega
was
Bass Man, dude.
Yeah, I also have George Washington holding. I got it to where it looked like a vintage photo of him holding a ZV5.
Oh.
Yeah. I got George Washington. It was I think it was a July 4th or a tax time ad I did. And then when JP was like, hey, I need you to make a sundown ad. This is what took my creativity and threw it through the next dimension. He was like, I need you to make a sundown ad. I thought it was the sundown ad for Down4Sound. And then I seen it where it was the part where it ended up on Sundown's social media. And I came unglued. I was like, what? I didn't think it would go that far. I thought it was just going to be a random post. And then we started working with Crescendo. and then we did some excess stuff, and then all I seen was my art going over here, my art going over there, my art being here, my art being there, and people exploding. And then I came out with the M1 shirt, which is a military shirt I'm gonna say got canned by Serwin Vega for the Serwin Vega Army. It got canned by that, so all I did was put the D4S logo there, and rest is history. And I was just like, wow. So everything that I was the reason why I joined Down4Sound officially is because JP lets me do what I got to do. He doesn't sit there and be like a corporate executive looking over at you. What you doing, dude? He's like, all right, is this done? Like, we'll have like we talk every day, but he'll be like, all right, we need to do this, this, and this. Let's get it done, this, and this. He helps me get to our suppliers and be like, hey, we need to hurry up on this, or we need it over here. He took my creativity. Actually, I wouldn't have the life I have now if it wasn't because of JP. I want to be honest with you. It's my dog.
Yeah.
He definitely, people talk a lot of shit about him. I do. I'm mind blowing on that. I have no idea why. Maybe because he's got 10,000 things going on in his mind, and he didn't say hello directly that fast, because he's either replying to a message or he's doing something of that nature. So yeah, he's one of he let me just keep on making stuff and making stuff and making stuff. It was amazing. I truly appreciate the opportunity.
And it's been 100 episodes or so ago on our show where me and Derek were talking about Down4Sound needs affiliate links, so we could send people not to Amazon.
I remember seeing that, and I seen the episode.
And
that's
you're
when
the
I
guy that
started
made it happen. You're the guy that made it happen.
Yeah, so I believe in independent media. I believe, because I had a blog. I believe in independent media. I believe in independent influencers. I believe that someone can go off and do their own thing and make some money. So when I remember actually seeing one of your guys' episodes, or if it was it was one of them, and I was like, okay, I got to do that. But all the affiliates platforms were like, meh. So I had to get it right. And then it's like, as soon as it's right, just like when we do amps or anything for Down4Sound's name on it, when it's right, it's ready. So, and then Derek hit me up. He was like, when are you guys going to do affiliates? I was like, it's ready. Hold on. I was like, give me a couple more days, because I was doing the fine tuning. Because the thing about our affiliates is we don't have a ton. To be an affiliate at Down4Sound, you just got to be, one, be a likable person. Two, love car audio. You got to be about car audio. And then three, you can't just be some random dude that has like maybe in a different scene. You have to be within car stereo. I don't want any other people externally from car audio. It's a car audio based company. JP's focus is car audio. Everything about Down4Sound is focused in car audio. So you had Maggie on recently. Yeah. She's an amazing person. We have Big D Wiz. We got High Five Vega. We just got Mr. Andy. We have Bangin' Bros. We have JPS. We have Mr. Parker. We have DIY car audio. He helped me out with an amp one day. So I was like, yeah, come on. I remember watching how to voltage with a multimeter, how to tune an amp. And I was like, I'm sold. And we have a couple more car audio addicts for sure. And it's just one of those things where I want to give back. JP wants to give back. We're all true car audio people at Down4Sound. That's why I stayed at Down. This is the farthest I've ever stayed with a company happy. So it's like nothing worked, and you just keep going. You just gotta keep going, and then eventually you find out where it works, and then life's the lessons when it's through. So you go through all that, then you produce great product afterwards, because you got all this teaching, got all this understanding, got all these customer complaints. Dealing in retail, man, this doesn't do this doesn't do that, and then you get some of the smartest people behind you, and then you get a guy like Jonathan who has done nothing more than to take me to the next level. Every product, everything, and then I'm gonna take my team, my affiliates. We had a dinner, just a one-on-one dinner, so we all got to know each other. Baseaholics. We got and then you've seen Mr. Steve Duncan's van. the most loudest thing I've ever heard in my life. So we get together. We want to just be 100% car audio. And I'm just, if you asked me, I posted this a couple days ago, or if not yesterday, I'm more blown away that I'm here today. I would never thought I was going to be here. And I never thought I would ever meet Jonathan. Never thought I'd ever meet Big D Wiz. I remember watching y'all when I was just like, oh shit, there's a new YouTube video, or some kid will come in and be like, where's your ZV4s? Why aren't they in stock? Jonathan can have it to me in 2 days. I was like, who is Jonathan Price? So, anyways, yeah, it's a dream. I love what I do. I would never ask for another job. JP is everybody. If it's a hater, he's a tater. Let it be. He's here for car audio. I'm here for car audio. I love collaborating with people. You just reach out to me. I love to do everything within car stereo to the highest level.
Well, we've talked about the affiliate stuff before, and Rob and I were really just kind of scratching our heads to the whole thing, the way the industry was, in your story talking about it is very intriguing for everybody, I think, to hear, because you're talking about, being affiliated now with a company that doesn't have those, ceilings above your head,
Yeah.
that doesn't have these normal rules that everybody else has. And look what it's done. So it just goes to show that sometimes if you take a chance, you step outside the norm, then things can move a lot faster and be a lot more positive. But along with the whole influencer thing and the affiliates, we've always said, we send people to Amazon, we send people to eBay, we get like 0.05% of a sale, so low. And then we're like, a company like Down4Sound, you get a little bit better percentage when we send them there. And then it's like, why would we send them to Amazon and we can send them to Down4Sound? And that's a win-win. That's a win for me, and it's a win for you. And it's not that any particular product that you offer is better than something that Amazon offers. It's just that, we want to support people with inside the community, and we like to see you guys grow, because Amazon's already big enough, right?
Yeah, they're huge.
But the other
No
part
doubt.
of it is the Down4Sound equipment. People are like, oh, you do all these Down4Sound amps and you've sold out to them. I'm like, I test stuff. If it does well, then people hear about it, right? You've heard me say negative things about some of the Down4Sound stuff. I'll let you know what it is.
Yeah, always. And you've let me know straight up. Your very first video that dropped right before Christmas, or right around Christmas, I was at the skate park. I was like, oh my God. I was like, here it goes. It's now or nothing. Because like in the corporate side, they're scared they can have the ability to buy a review. I've been down that road. I've never been that guy. I really dislike fake people, copycat people. It freaks me out. I don't know why. It just does. It turns on a protective mode of me. So I like genuality. So if you're a genuine person, you just are professional about it, let's get it done, And when you came out, I was driving home and I was like, I can't watch this. Hold on. I can't watch it. Did I do good? Did I do bad? And I was like, watch it. I was like, okay, we did good. And it was amazing. We always will make it better on anything Down4Sound, anything affiliates. It's only going to get better. We have way more products now. I thought we were just going to stop with the 23. I ran some AI data, found out. I was like, JPA would be not a bad idea. 8.4. People were like, why you do all these colors? So 23 and 234, that's a package right there. You got your mids and highs screaming, you got your bass getting down low, and it's loud. So 8 and 8.4 is going to be a deal. 9.5 is red for the single dads out there that have, or family dads, whatever it may be, that just wants to, maybe a single 18 in the back, but he still wants to throw groceries, or 15 or 12 or 10. I wouldn't put it on an 8. But it's one of those things where I was like, what's adequate power? What's adequate power? People are like, oh, you scrub your ratings and stuff. And I was like, no, I do that. What I rate my stuff on, it's bad day voltage. If you got a crappy voltage, or you got something going on with your system, this is worst case scenario you're going to get out of this amp.
I
And I
know.
should,
I've never got that argument because people are like, oh, well, it does so much overrated. That's like, dude, yeah, you're getting more.
yeah, it's always going to be like that because we want to give you that down for sound difference. We never want to truly compete direct on with any of our brands, our vendors. JP has a very good relationship with a lot of them, and they all serve a purpose. All these brands we have serve purposes, and they're really great people. The Down for Sound lineup is for the Down for Sound. Like, hey, I want this. It does. The brand is going to continue to grow. It's going to next year. You guys are going to be really excited. Very first of the year, you're going to have some probably, in my eyes, some of the coolest amplifiers and maybe a cool technology that might come out. And you might live life cordless at one point in your time, but
Well, plus, I mean, you made a 300 by 2 at 4 ohm 2 channel, or you teased
yes,
it.
no, we are doing it, and it's going to be so with our suppliers. It's going to be engraved on the
Yeah.
top. So you're gonna get one. One's gonna get raffled off to homeless veterans. I think I'm gonna do a bid auction or something. I'm really passionate about our military. You'll learn that in time with me. I had a upbringing with between Spanish and military, so I really tip my hats to them. But we're gonna probably do the very first one for homeless veterans as a bid system or raffle. I haven't figured that part out yet. And the next one's going to be free roam, and everyone's going to get a cool box. You're getting a snazzy bass knob with it too. You're going to get a clip. You're going to have a secret message inscribed on the board, and it's it's not going to be my prototype one because after reviewing what we can and can't say legally on a for sale scale at our level, I can't say that. So we're going to do some really cool things. I have colorways that do not end. So what happens, so the JP23 this year, or this stockpile, will end in black. Next year it might be blue. And then the amps, the 234 will be blue. So now we know. So every year you're going to have a different variation, or every stockpile, you're going to have a different variation. I got that from my buddy Craig when he showed me what US Amps used to do. I'm like, why is everybody black and white and gray? Like, then I found out why. And then the anodizing process we use is the original formula that was used in Gainesville, Florida. So it comes to a point where how you do it and how fast you can get it out. So, and eventually we're going to get into some glow in the darks. Yes, we're doing glow in the dark amps. We're going to definitely get into marine. We got some really cool stuff. I have one that might be an amplifier / LED RGB controller as well. So you can, it's for marine. Probably more for marine because the guys like their boats. It's all one unit. And I say that because I was co-developing a product. I don't want to mention that brand's name, but it never came to fruition. So I'm making that one happen. And yeah, JP lets me pretty much do what I got to do. He's really good at project management. Well, checking in on me when he realizes it's what the heck's going on. Because during COVID, it went from production times to 30 to 45 days. Your product was done. To COVID times, it was 30 to 90. So you had that gap, and we have so many products at Down4Sound. It started with the JP23, ended up with the amps. We got all our vendors. I want to take care of our vendors first, so I drop all these ads. I'm a big Sundown, huge Incriminator fan. As of recent, I learned more and more about this company, Incriminator. I'm like, whoa, this guy knows what he's doing. So it's one of those things where I'm just happy to be a part of a spot at 30 years old to be saying, hey, I'm at a job that I like to do. And I don't, JP, it's for JP's image. It's for Down4Sound's image. They don't owe me nothing. I have what I want.
Yeah. Well, that's, I get a little bit of hate sometimes for doing the Down4Sound affiliate, but, and I've told it this to you personally, but I haven't told it to other people, but keeping that money, like Derek said, inside the community,
That's where we
building
want it.
something inside the community. If Amazon sells a product and Down4Sound sells a product, guess what? I'm not putting the Amazon link up there because we're trying to build our community here. And
Yeah.
sure, if some stuff we go to Amazon for, because some stuff, just simply not on Down4Sound or anywhere else. But if we can build a community, that's what 12 and
Yes.
Talk started as. We're trying to build a community and quit having just separate silos of YouTube people. And, that extends out into just everybody in the community.
Yeah, we want to keep it. So I grew up, my skateboarding roots are from, uh, I have a skateboarding route. So in skateboarding, we don't care who you are or what you do. You have a skateboard. Let's go skate. So, and we always kept it, we like to keep it core. But in skateboarding, unfortunately, a $30 board manufacturing the dealer, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really pay the bills. So all the core brands would die out. And then I figured out how to make core work in car audio. The last thing you want is for a company to come in and call the shots that's not core. Oh, this niche is awesome. The very first car audio show I went to, the very first loud system was an FI system I heard. I was absolutely mind blown. The very first the biggest amp I've ever seen was a Sundown amp when I first got into car audio. I was like, who's that nuts to put a SCV something in their car? I was like, this thing weighs as much as the car. And then when I see my first battery setup was I think Steve Meade did a whole underneath his car or SUV, sorry, that was nothing but excess. I was like, man, when I get some money in my day, I'm gonna buy that brand excess. So I was balling on a budget. So it was just one of those things. And then I had my buddy Gerald, who's the biggest scarhead you'll ever meet in your life. And when he got with the company, he used to have I think he was the first wall I heard it was 5 or 6 VVX version 1s with the SK 2500. This is a long time ago, and that thing got down, and I was like, that was the first wall. So everything comes to light at the end of the day, for sure. I want to keep everything as core as possible. Not sell out. People say we're this, we're that. You're gonna get hate on Down4Sound's name because JP is victorious. He's a mastermind, and he's logical. He's not like crazy ass corporate executives, and excuse my French, but there's some executives out there that just hit some numbers in a computer and they're like, you got to hit that number or you're fired. He's like, what we're doing.
It's definitely new ground. I mean, just for one, they were like literally one of the first online authorized sellers for some companies, because I know
Crossfire for sure.
Crossfire, because I did a video about a Crossfire, and I'm like, why can't I buy this amplifier online? And then like 3 weeks later, it's on Down4Sound. I'm like, this guy is just smart. I mean, he's figured it out. It's like people want to buy it, but yet they can't figure out where to buy it because people want you to go to the dealer network. It's like, that is so 1990. Come back to the future.
And another thing is I like the brick and mortar. I came from it, but sometimes you get really biased information from a dealer.
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, I'm being polite right now.
I know.
I'm being very polite right now. Whatever whatever's in stock is what's leaving in your car.
Of course.
Or you're leaving down the road. I dealt with that a lot. My very first SPL brand we sold, nothing against this company, I'm saying it now, DD Audio. It wouldn't matter what brand came through the door, old man Jenkins would send them packing. I was like, you can't do that to them. You can't. Yes. Of course, I'm the guy with the open brain thinking, if a man comes into your store and wants yellow shoes, why are you selling them red?
Yeah.
So it was one of those things, and sometimes the people don't like that. Actually, every kid doesn't like that. Getting told their brand sucks. Getting told by a guy that installs, by the way, or the guy that owns a stereo shop. No, you don't know what you're talking. A lot of these people have used car salesman mentalities because it's in their training philosophy through another organization. We won't mention names. It's just very knowledgeable. And it would be, you got all these used carsman sales tactics, which drives away sales. Guess who gets that sale? Down4Sound.
Yeah.
We don't tell anybody that's a bad idea. You want a sundown? You want sundown. You want PSI? You get PSI. You want orange? You get Nendo. We have no hate. Oh, you want AD? You get AD. You want DC? You get DC. You want Scar? You get Scar. All these people got it wrong in the brick and mortar environment, and I came from there. Now there's some really good shops out there that just don't care. They'll make you the beautifulest door panels known to man. They'll install it for you. They'll pat you on the back. See you next. See me when you want to upgrade, or see you at the show. And those guys are the ones that, if there is the secret to be let out at Down4Sound, there is a distributing area. We want only the guys, the smaller shops that love car audio, that have that fruition of, hey, you know what, kid, maybe that boss isn't the right idea, but don't belittle them. Say, hey, check out this. We got you. A little bit more money, you get into this. We want, if we do something, it's for like the core. We go back to that conversation piece of it's for the core. And it is a small dealer network that we have. We don't let it open to everybody. But yes, if you're some guy that just wants to carry it and doesn't care about a brand's image or understand what it is, we don't see you. We don't need you. Yeah.
Yeah, we do the same thing because we have a lot of fans here that watch everyday audios, and in spite of that, we still allow them to come on our channel and watch the real car audio show.
That was a jab.
No, it's fun because like we got to get out of the old ways of car audio. We really do. We got to make it more. In my eyes, I came again, go back to skateboarding roots. I never had beef with nobody. This is the first community where it's like a little bit of beef and a lot of love and here and there. And it's just like, it's so wishy-washy. Some days I step back and I'm like, what in the heck are the people saying? And, so yeah, we're going to keep it core. Down4Sound is going to be here forever and ever and ever. So if anybody ever wanted to prey on someone's downfall, you got better luck winning the lotto than betting on Down4Sound.
Derek, did you have any more pertinent questions? Because I would love to get into amps and ramps for just a minute.
Yeah, I think Jacob's got a lot. They got a lot of stuff going on here at Down4Sound, so I think we're gonna have to probably do a version 2 sometime in the future when we get some new products and stuff. If that's cool with you, Jacob.
Oh yeah. Well, when we get it in, we just sent out. We just got everything's in production, so you guys are gonna see some really cool stuff, some patent pending stuff, and then you're gonna live life differently when it comes to the market. I promise you that.
Nice tease for the mind blown. So we'll leave a link in the description below. We'll actually leave 2. One for Rob's affiliate, one for mine. You guys can just pick whichever one you want.
Yeah. Hey, you go both. Do both.
But no, seriously, thanks for joining us tonight and talking about your history and talking about how you've kind of stepped outside the norm. Yeah. And JP has allowed you to do that, and it's obviously paying off.
Oh,
and thanks again for allowing us to come on as affiliates and the reciprocity that's involved with us helping you helping us, helping the community grow, and it's awesome. So I look forward to the future and things to come.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All
now
right.
we're to amps and ramps. I got 2 questions.
All right.
So first one is you can choose to answer it either way you want. How did you get led astray from skateboarding away from BMX? That's the first one. The second
it's because it was like 2008 or something when he started. So
the second question is did skateboarders and BMX guys hate each other in your
era? No, in my era, if you were on the wood course and a biker, I remember being a little jitterbug actually. And I talked trash to one BMXer. I never did it again. Oh man. That man came climbing down on me. I had a freaking turtle helmet on at this time. I was in like the 4th grade, and he crashed into me. It was who had the wood course, because the course was originally designed for BMX, but skateboarders skate anything that's smooth or skatable. Right. So it was one of those things where it got to It was definitely beef. Now it's skateboarders and scooters. It's crazy.
Wait, people still scooter?
You got
They
little
do.
snakes.
They do the ones with those little tiny wheels too, Rob. Which
What,
it's
like the
crazy.
Razor scooters, or
They're
Yes.
kind of like that. Yeah.
The Razor scooters
You
that
haven't
can
seen
take
them do
impact.
flips and all the stuff they do on those little scooters?
I thought that was over.
No,
in
that
2000.
guy that does the Nitro Circus, what's his name? Ryan Williams. He was like huge on scooters for a long time. So he'll jump the mega ramp on a scooter and like flip it around and throw it upside down and catch it and
Yeah.
just I mean
I'm out the loop, man. I haven't seen no extreme scootering.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's real.
It's real. It's scary because they don't pay attention. So that's the new. That's death. They don't pay attention at all. You'll have a little kid. I'm like, this is what happens when you scooter. You scooter and became a horrible driver when you grow up. I see what went on here, but now.
Well, I got to admit, I went to BMX because I didn't have the stability to stay on a skateboard.
Yeah,
Oh,
same
that's my
reason for me.
excuse.
Same
Yeah.
reason for me. I wasn't good. I was like, all right, I'm going down the quarter pipe on the skateboard. This is gonna be so dope. Guess what? It wasn't dope.
Smack.
I was like, you know what? I can do this on a BMX.
That's right.
Yeah. I got into skating because my friend had an old '80s fishtail in his garage. It was his dad's. I jumped on that thing. I almost busted my butt, and I was like, I want to do this, and that's how it took off. And JP, there's a video. The video of JP skates. He went down a road in Austin.
Oh
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
Wow.
He's ready for that. We're gonna have some cool little Down4Sound skateboarding little.
Oh
things,
yeah, and your ramp. We didn't ask
Yeah,
you
I
about
got
that ramp.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that ramp. It's pretty cool. The ramp was sponsored actually by. Well, first I was just gonna build it. Then buddies from different organizations said, "Here's some money. Just put our name somewhere. We hope your kid gets good. We love you, Jake." And next thing you know, I have a full-on skate ramp with skate light in the back. It is loud. My neighbors probably hate me, but I know they want to skate it.
Are you gonna let me BMX on that, man?
It holds up. Hey, man, that's I got three layers of plot.
Hey, I'll sign the paper, and I'll.
Yeah. Oh,
definitely
yeah. You
break my
have to
arm
sign.
again.
If you ever come to my house, you must sign a waiver.
And I'll bring the camera.
Yeah, it's fun. We have a good time, except for when alcohol gets involved. It gets a little crazy. I tried it once, and I was like, "Whoa, nope, oh, hold on." I was in a different world. So yeah, I love skateboarding. Skateboarding's my disconnect from the stress of car audio. I can put my phone away. I can skate with my son. I can go to a skate park, and it feels like I've totally disappeared from the world that we live in.
Everybody needs that escape, you know.
Oh,
You've got
yes.
to have that freedom feeling of getting away.
Yeah, they if not, you'll burn out, and that's what I don't want to do. I've talked to dealing with all these old heads in car audios that made it, failed it, did everything in between. They told me one thing and one thing: make sure you're happy, kid, because this industry will run you in the ground.
Yeah.
And that's always stuck with me.
There you go.
Hey, that's a comeback. Hey, man, don't call it.
they've already lost money, you know, with the wheelie challenge. So right. I don't know if they want to really be doing any more challenges because
hey, it's fun. Wait till I'm building part 2 of the skate park now, and it's gonna be a full-on skate park at one point. Mini ramp, yeah, mini ramp. You know, mini ramp.
What is it? Is it how tall is it? Is it 5 feet? 4?
5 foot. 5 foot. It's 5 foot by 24 foot long and then 12 foot wide. I'm adding on because I thought 12 would be enough. I knew 8 wouldn't. Now I want like 44, 36 bowl cap. I want a roll in. I want a bar. Like I'm like thinking of everything, and I'm like looking at my bank account. Like, damn, I need to work more. Price of wood went through the roof as I was building the mini ramp.
Yeah, well, at least it's dropped down some now.
Oh, so. That's why I'm reissuing it. I might do a concrete. We can all do slappy grinds, bro, on the curbs.
There you go.
So
yeah, Derek's got some nice bikes. He's fixing one up right now. That's
I'm trying to quit. It's like this is the last
it's fun.
one.
Keep going. Keeps your bones young or hurt. You remember, pain is temporary. Memories are forever. Or it's the other way around.
Wait until you hit your mid 40s or so and tell me how you feel.
I'm not ready. I just hit 30 and it scared me. So yeah, it's fun skateboarding. I believe it or not, skateboarding and car audio guys are not that different. as far as the united, when you're unity with teams, skate teams, there's car audio teams. There's always someone that's gonna say you need this set up. It's not that different. The industry, only thing that's different is margins and understanding what it takes to make a $100 skateboard versus a $2,000 amplifier. So
Oh, dude, I gotta show up at the mini ramp with my Nash board. I want the OG one though,
yeah,
the big fat one.
Yeah, you got they got fishtails, longboards. I don't think
Yeah.
you can longboard the ramp. I'm just being it gets pretty scary. I'm afraid of longboards, honestly. Those things go way too fast, and it has a wide wheelbase on control. It scares me. So you get on there, you can bring a mini, you can bring a bike, you can bring a tricycle, you can bring a dirt bike. My buddy
them minis, those were in Derek's era right there. The little minis.
Yeah. Yeah, those things are crazy. My buddy the other day brought his dirt bike on it. I thought he was going to go through my neighbor's tree. I stepped back and I was like, either this is going one or two ways.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was great talking with y'all.
Yeah, man. Thanks again for coming on and joining us and giving us some behind the scenes and telling us about your history.
Wait. You're going to there's an orange amp back there. I can't really show right now. I got a gold one coming. I got a teal one. I got a purple one. I got the OG VLX purple. I got Class AB. We got something better than a master slave as soon as a patent attorney looks at it. You can do a little bit more with that. And
nice.
We got a lot of cool stuff that I hope the car audio community enjoys. And if it's we have a lot of great minds behind this, a lot of great amp repair techs. We got a lot of great competitive people that have tested it in the deadly, everybody likes living life at 0.33 or 0.5. Uncontrollable power in my eyes, but do what you will. And it's been proven, and it's going to be all Korean. All big amps from this point forward are Korean. So we're not playing around with small amps. You can get away with China with like 2,000, 3,000 down. Anything past that, I wouldn't trust them. QC. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys soon. Hit me up anytime, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We appreciate the chat. Hope everybody has a great evening. Rob?
Yep.
Yeah, we had fun.
Yep.
Thanks,
always.
man.
All right,
These guys.
Bye.
Bye.